Elle Kennedy's hockey romance novels spent years dominating social media algorithms. Driven by viral word of mouth, the series sold millions of copies, building a heavily invested online audience. When Amazon released the television adaptation, it climbed to the top of the streaming charts almost immediately. The production leans into the specific elements that readers were already primed for: the fake dating tropes, the high-stakes college hockey setting, and the emotional recovery of the central characters. The result is a surge in viewership, including millions of people who never touched the books but are drawn in by the chemistry between the leads. By hitting these specific emotional beats, Prime Video managed to capture the same audience that made previous young adult hits so successful. But despite the high viewing numbers, the reaction from the original fandom has been polarized. The creators didn't provide an exact replica of the books. Instead, they reordered the timeline and adjusted the development of central relationships. This creates a tension between the expectations of the readers and the requirements of the screen. Why would a studio take a multi-million selling formula and intentionally change its structure? To make those changes work, the production first had to secure the audience's trust by nailing the vibe of the original characters. Much of that trust came from the casting. Elle Bright's performance as Hannah has been widely praised for capturing the specific vulnerability that fans expected from the character. Opposite her, Belmont Cameli plays Garrett, providing the physical presence and charisma needed to ground the show's central romantic appeal. The studio also invested heavily in the physical realism of the sport, putting the cast through an intensive hockey boot camp before filming began. By training actors and utilizing professional stunt doubles, the show avoids the cheesy look of typical sports dramas in favor of realistic on-ice action. With the casting and the atmosphere secured, the showrunners had the leverage they needed to begin the more controversial task of narrative restructuring. The most debated change involves the timeline. The series introduces secondary romances much earlier than the books ever did, turning a focused love story into an ensemble drama. This illustrates the structural needs of both mediums. On the left, a novel sustains a single slow burn thread, keeping the reader locked inside the character's internal thoughts. On the right, television relies on concurrent braided storylines and multiple subplots to keep audiences engaged. Modern streaming viewers typically expect a broader world, where secondary characters are developed in parallel with the leads, rather than waiting seasons for them to appear. This restructuring suggests the creators prioritize the specific pacing requirements of streaming, ensuring enough narrative momentum to support an entire season's worth of content. That focus on longevity seems to have worked for the studio. Prime Video renewed the series for a second season before the first one even debuted. This points to an economic cycle where viral reading data from platforms like TikTok is used to mitigate the financial risks of a new production. By taking a popular book and expanding it into an ensemble format, the production transforms a self-contained story into a franchise capable of supporting multiple seasons. Ultimately, the goal isn't just to copy the book, but to build a narrative engine that can sustain a high-performing streaming series for years to come.